I've come to a conclusion that I think is going to be a little bit controversial, but bear with me because I think you're going to find this very useful. And that is, digital productivity tools do not make you more productive. Actually, the reverse is happening. You're becoming less productive because you're using digital tools. Now, let me explain. Now, for those of you who've been following me for a little while, you will know that I've been doing a Franklin Planner experiment over the last 10 months or so. And that has really helped me to get back to the basics of good time management and productivity. The Franklin Planner has a number of principles built in. Namely, and this is the daily planning part, is you review your appointments for the day. That will tell you how much time you have available for doing tasks. You then create a list, and it's manually written every day, of the things that need to be done, the most important things. And then you prioritize that list based on what is the most important, i.e. your must-dos, your should-dos, and what you could do if you have time. Now, the benefit of this is because it's set next to each other. You see your appointments and your task list side by side. You can see if you're being overambitious and trying to do more than is realistically possible to do. That is where digital productivity tools completely fall down. You see, digital productivity tools, by their very nature, they make it so easy to throw stuff in there. You see a link to a blog post that looks interesting, throw it into your task manager. You see a YouTube video that you think you might want to watch later, throw it into your task manager. Somebody recommends a book that you should read, throw it into your task manager. Anything and everything just gets thrown in there. Oh, I would like to do this. Oh, I would like to buy that. Oh, maybe I need to buy some more dumbbells for my home gym. Throw it into your task manager. The list is just endless. And that's where the problem becomes, because it's so easy to throw all that stuff into our digital to-do list. The to-do list just becomes overwhelmed with stuff that really are not important, and probably the best thing you could do is not do it. Not read that article, not buy that book, not go and buy another load of dumbbells for your home gym. Perhaps that is the best thing to do. Perhaps that is one of the reasons why we feel so overwhelmed, because those to-do lists are just becoming full of stuff. Now, back in the Franklin Planner day, if somebody recommended a book to us, it wouldn't go on our to-do list. It would go on the daily page, the daily notes page. You just say, oh, book, and you just put it in there. Then later, perhaps at the end of the week, or maybe when you do the planning and solitude the next day, you look at those notes and you think, yeah, maybe, nah, I haven't got time, and you just remove it. But it hasn't disappeared. It's still in your Franklin Planner. And the good thing about the Franklin Planner is you have a monthly index where you can write those things down. Book recommendation, perhaps you put the title, the date you made the note, it's there. And then in 6 months' time, if you just think, yes, somebody mentioned a book, you can go back to your notes and quickly find it. We're talking like 5-10 seconds if you're organizing it properly. Digital tools, it just gets lost in a list of endless tasks and stuff to do with no record of when you collected it, and perhaps you have no recollection of the book title, so you haven't a way to search for it. It's not very good, basically. But that is a fundamental problem with digital tools, is it's too easy to put stuff in there. Now, another problem I find with the digital tools is that we have this kind of desire to keep testing new tools. Now, I'm an Evernote user and a Todoist user. I still use digital tools. They are useful in one respect: recurring, routinal tasks that I generally need a reminder of. My favorite example is the office plant. It needs watering every 4 days. It's not an easy number to remember, so I just have a recurring task in Todoist which says water office plant every 4 days. Brilliant. That's where Todoist is superb. I also have my admin stuff and my regular recurring admin stuff that comes up in Todoist because it's low value stuff, but it's stuff that if I don't address it daily or every other day, it's going to become backlogged, which is never a good thing because that also creates overwhelm and anxiety and stress. But the beauty of paper-based planners, not just a Franklin planner, I'm talking about all paper-based planners, is that every day you are intentionally writing down the things that are important to you. You pick up a pen every day and you write out the things that you must do tomorrow. It's superb because what it's doing is mentally you're becoming intentional about what needs to do. Also with a paper-based planner is it's on your desk all day. It's not like with a computer screen where you're shifting between windows. Now I know some people say, oh, I've got dual screens, I've got dual monitors, I have my calendar on one side, my Todoist, and then I'm working on this side. Fine, but your focus and attention all the time is going to be on that monitor that you're working on. But when you've got a paper-based planner, you take your eyes away from the screen momentarily and it generally just rests onto your paper planner. It's a constant reminder of what you have decided are the important tasks for the day. Also a great reminder of where your appointments for the day are too. So you can see it's coming up. I've got a meeting in 30 minutes. I need to get this done. Or you say, I've got free 30 minutes. Let's just have a look at this list, quickly get on to doing whatever the task is. You're not at risk of being distracted by a notification window or, oh, let's just have a look at my email. You see this and you say, oh, I can do that task in 10 minutes. Let's just do that now. You don't get distracted. And that's another problem I'm having or have had with digital tools is it's so easy to get pulled into a rabbit hole of meaningless stuff that doesn't move anything forward. Now, one criticism that I have had about this thing, which is a classic size Franklin planner, is that they say the bulk. People say, oh, it's too heavy to carry around with you all the time. And yeah, maybe, but you know, most people will have a laptop. Most people will probably have an iPad and a phone that they're carrying around with them at work all day. This is actually, because I weighed it, 3 times heavier than the Franklin planner. I'm sorry, that argument does not wash. It is just ridiculous the weight that digital devices that people are having to carry around with them all the time. This little thing doesn't weigh anything at all. I mean, of course it does weigh something, but it's not that heavy. And recently I've been away on a summer trip and I carried my Franklin planner in my flight bag. And it was, I didn't even notice it was there, but it was fantastic that the flight was something like 13 hours. And so I was able to, when I woke up, able to actually get this out, put it on the little table in front of me, and I was able to actually do a little bit of planning, a little bit of indexing, just tidying up my Franklin planner. The good thing is everything was here. I'm using this area at the back for my projects. I've got my governing values, these what I would describe as your areas of focus. They're in here. It's all in one place. This can replace an iPad, a laptop, no problem at all. However, there is a caveat there. When it comes to the output, of course, I'm using a computer. I write I reply to my emails. I write my blog posts. I write my articles. I do these YouTube videos. I'm editing on a computer. There is a use for digital tools, but they are specific uses. I'm writing, I'm recording, I'm editing. Those are specific uses, and I'm actually engaged in work. I'm not planning work. I'm not thinking about what needs to be done next. The computer, the iPad, my iPhone, they have specific uses. I tend to think of those devices as my output devices because that's where I do the work that I will ultimately output. But when it comes to planning and thinking and planning my day, I have just found over the last 10 months that paper-based planners are way, way better than digital-based planners like task managers and digital notes apps to a large degree. Although long-term notes I generally find do work better in some kind of digital device, because then I can access it on my phone when I'm at the airport, for example, rather than digging out my Franklin planner. But there is one more thing. Now, while we were traveling, we rented a car and my wife did some shopping. The thing is that I don't know if this is the same in other countries, but the problem I was having, or had, don't have anymore of course, but the problem that I had was these places, they're not very good when it comes to digitalizing systems. Like for example, the shop that we went to, my wife went to and bought some clothing, tax-free shopping, you have to have your paper receipt, it's put in an envelope and you take it to the airport and you get your tax back. The car rental that we did, also when I had to sign for the car and everything, and sure enough, they gave me a piece of paper. In here is the all-important receipts and everything that I need in order to put this on the company expenses, because it was largely a company usage. So when you've got stuff like this, where do you put it if you are totally digital? Yeah, you throw it in your flight bag and then it gets scrunched up and moved, and by the end of the holiday or the end of your business trip, this stuff can easily get lost. If you're carrying a paper-based planner, like a Franklin planner, all this stuff can just get put into the back of the planner. It's safe, it's secure, it's not going to get screwed up, and it's right there for when you get back. That was something I'd never even anticipated when I did the planning. When I did this experiment, I thought, oh yeah, all my receipts, things that I need to be, when I get back, can all be put in the planner, because there's plenty of space for it, and it's secure, because this thing is going to be secure. Trust me, I'm not going to leave this around. I am making sure that this is always secure, always with me. I treat it like it's the most valuable thing that I am carrying with me. I know, a bit over the top, but I know how important this has become in my life over the last 10 months. Now, this does not mean that I am going to give up on all my digital productivity tools. They have their uses. When I take Louis, my little dog, for his walk every day, I'm not going to carry this with me just in case I have an idea. I carry my phone and I can dictate ideas, thoughts, tasks directly into my phone. It is incredibly convenient. Sure, so technology does have a place, but I have come to realize that when it comes to planning the day specifically, keeping notes of what's happening in my day, then these paper-based planners certainly are way better than digital tools. Digital tools just become full of stuff, some of which is important, some of which is not important, and some of which you just wonder, why the hell did I collect that stuff? And it all needs to be dealt with. It all needs to be processed and dealt with, again, within a digital system where you're at risk of being distracted by something else, by a notification, by a text message, by an email, by the latest, shiniest object that comes up on your Amazon feed or whatever. It's always constant. It's just coming at you all the time. Here, it's like you step away from the screen, you get a chance to look down and think bigger picture of what's really important in your life. And I can tell you now that I am not going to be stopping my project. This has become an integral part of my overall productivity system, mainly on a daily basis. I do always write out as part of my daily planning what needs to be done today. I don't put low value stuff on there, and that's always going to be in Todoist, and I will look at Todoist every day. But for the most part, the most important things that need to get done each day are going to be handwritten into my Franklin planner every day, so that when I start the day, I know that the goal is to check off all those tasks. I don't always do it, of course, things get in the way. But on most days, I am clearing this. And then at the end of the week, when I do my weekly planning, I can just go through this back to Monday, or back to Sunday in my case, checking that I've done everything that's important, and any important notes I've collected, just give them a quick view to see I haven't missed anything. It's been a revelation to go back to the basics of time management and productivity. It's made me more relaxed, it's made me more focused, and a lot less distracted, and I've also found that I am no longer procrastinating as much as I used to do. Don't we all procrastinate? Anyway, if you want to learn more about my experiment with the Franklin Planner, then this video is the one to watch next.